Okay, so on page 44, last time we said that this page is about going backwards, right? They give you the exact value, so you need to find the angle. So you need to start with checking sign, right? And roll it down step by step. Every question has 1, 2, 3, 4. So in your homework, you need to show it like this as well, okay? So I know that you understand how to do every single step. And then you find the two angles, okay? So all the questions I picked in the homework, they all have two answers, okay? But sometimes if the angle is on the axis, then you might have only one answer, okay? So let's look at question G, okay? We're going to do question G to L. So for example, cosine theta equal to 0. Okay. So 0, this 0 is the exact value, right? Or the ratio. They give you the ratio, right? And then the theta is what you want to find, angle. Okay, the instruction is still the same. You want to find the angle within one circle, okay, within one turn. So cosine equal to 0. So when you see something like 0 or -1 or 1, right, then you need to think about the special places. Okay, what I mean special places, it's like these three circles. Okay, look at page 43. Okay, we have these three circles, right? So if you look at cosine, the picture for cosine, it will be 0 at the top and bottom, right? The ratio will be 0 at the top and bottom of the y-axis. So that means the angle that turns to there, the first one, it will turn to here, right? That's our first answer. The second one, it will turn all the way to the bottom. Okay, that's the places that it will become 0 for the ratio. So what will be the angle for those two places then? Okay, and we want the answer in exact value. Okay, so Daniel, what's the angle for the first one?
90.
Yeah, in radian, what would that be?
Pi over 2.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so that's our first answer. It turns to the top side, right? Upper side of the y-axis. Okay, 90 degree or pi over 2. The second place is at the bottom. So Eric, what angle would that be?
270 degrees.
In radian?
That'd be 3 pi over 2.
Yes, very good. Okay. So that's all, right? So if the angle lands on axis, you don't need to do the 4 steps. Okay, but you need to recognize that, okay, this question is about the axis. Okay, it's not in the quadrant, it's on the axis. So you just look at imagine the pictures in your head, right? And you can figure it out. So I'm gonna let you try the rest of the question, okay, by yourself. These are pretty easy, right? There's one question that's tricky. So when you finish these 5, okay, so question H to L, okay, these ones. Okay, after you finish those ones, you can raise your hand. So you will still need to draw the picture, okay? For on the notes, okay? Even though you don't need to do all 4 steps, right? But you still need to draw to show me where the angle is. So once you are very good at it, of course, at school, right? When you're doing school homework, you can skip the drawing, right? Do it in the head. But while in this class, make sure you show all the work, okay? So there's one question in these 5 questions. One of them is not on the axis, okay? It's trying to trick you. Right, every question here has 0, 1, or -1, or undefined, right? So it feels like every single one is on the axis, but instead, one of them is not, okay? So I put it there just to help you to remember. Sometimes the angle could be in the quadrant as well. Okay, if you finished, you can raise your hand. So Chris, which one is not on the axis?
I.
Yes, very good. Okay, so even though we have a 1, right? For question I, tangent theta equal 1, but question I is not on the axis. So Caleb, for question I, which quadrants are the angles?
Is it oh, question I?
Yeah, question I.
Oh, I didn't do that one yet
So you raise your hand.
because I'm not so sure how to do it.
Okay, then let's go over question I. Okay, it might help you with homework 12 correction later. Okay, because question
Okay.
I is not on the axis, it's inside the quadrant. So you need to follow the 4 steps that we learned last time. Can you tell me what was the first step?
Check the cast.
Check the sign.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you see? Check the sign. What's the sign?
Oh, tan of 1.
So is it positive or negative?
Oh, it's positive.
So which quadrant?
1 and 4.
No. Tangent positive?
Oh, 1 and 2.
No. Do you know how to check?
I'm not so sure.
You need to look at the cast, right? You mentioned that already. Okay, it's on page 44 on the top. We put it in the box, right?
Yeah.
Sign, and then there's a cast. Do you know what that means, the cast?
It tells which one is positive.
Yeah. So my question is, where is tangent positive?
Oh, quadrant 3.
And
Quadrant 1.
yes, okay. So you need to draw the picture, right? Step 1 is to write down which quadrants. You write 1 and 3. So in your homework 12, you need to show this step as well. Okay, I didn't see that. Okay, step 2, what is it?
Side ratio,
Okay, so what are the side ratios here?
opposite over hypotenuse.
Yeah, how long is the opposite?
1,
And over what?
1.
1 over 1. So 1 is for the opposite over what?
Hypotenuse.
We're doing tangent.
Oh, opposite over adjacent.
Yeah. Okay, so your step 2, you need to draw the side ratios. Okay, you have the opposite over adjacent, so 1 over 1. We draw this out. Quadrant 1, quadrant 3. You have opposite side, that's 1, adjacent is 1, opposite adjacent. So how long is the hypotenuse then?
Square root of square root of 2.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for your step 2. Okay, to draw this picture out with the side ratios. Understand?
Reference angle.
Yeah, step 3, reference angle. So reference angle is talking about the angle that's with the x-axis inside the triangle. So the 2 green dots, those are
45 degrees.
and we are in radian in this.
Oh, pi over 4.
Yeah, so we write down pi over 4 theta r, that's reference angle, pi over 4. And what is step 4?
Draw.
Draw what?
Draw it out. Draw line.
That's not what we put, right? What does it say in the box?
Oh, draw angle and domain.
Yeah, and our domain is
A quadrant.
domain is 0 to 2 pi. Okay, 0 to 2 pi means 1 circle. So when we turn, right, the first angle that we want to find is in the first quadrant. So how big is that one?
45 degrees.
We are still in radian.
Oh, pi over 4.
Yes, okay, so our first angle, equal pi over 4. Okay, and then the second one we want to get is in which quadrant?
Oh, quadrant 3.
Okay, how big would that be?
Um, 5 pi over 4.
5 pi over 4, very good. Okay, so you can count the pizza. If the reference is pi over 4, that means each side you cut it into 4 slices. Okay, you look at the reference angle, that will tell you how many slices to cut. You would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means it's 5 pi over 4. Okay?
Okay.
One slice is pi over 4. So quadrant 1, pi over 4. Quadrant 3, 5 pi over 4.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's why you need to show, okay, on your homework 12, okay? All right, next one, question HJKL. So all the other 4, they are on the axis, right? So if you got the answer for those ones, please raise your hand. Okay, Nick, for question H. What's your answer?
H. So I got 270 degrees.
We are in
So
radian.
pot 2 pi over 4.
No. Are we on the
3 pi over 2. 3 pi over 2.
Yeah, okay. 3 pi over 2. Okay, we are on x-axis or y-axis?
Y-axis.
Yeah, very good. Okay, sign is -1, only at one place. Sign will be 1 at the top, -1 at the bottom, right? 0, 0. So we are interested in -1. So we will turn pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. Okay, you just need to count the pizza, all right? Do not change, do not get the answer in degree and then change it back to radian, okay? Takes too long. You need to get used to the concept of counting by slices, okay? That's how you get fast. Okay, Angela, do you have answer for J?
Pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2.
Okay, very good. All right. So if you want to do question J, right? Question J is cotangent, but then we don't have picture for cotangent. You need to think about tangent, right? So you can flip it. So cotangent is when you flip it, it will be tangent, right? And when you flip the 0, it will become undefined. So that means NA. So cotangent equal to 0 will be the same as tangent theta equal to undefined. Okay, so therefore we are interested in the top and bottom. So that makes it pi over 2. And the other one is 3 pi over 2. Right? Okay, Evan, can you try question K? Secant equal undefined, where is it?
On the 180 degrees and the 0 degrees.
Which one? How many
So the
degrees?
y-axis. I mean the x-axis, sorry, x-axis.
I mean here?
Yeah.
Only one place?
No, two, it's on the other side too.
So those two places.
Yes.
Why? Why do you think it's those two places? How
I
do
know, I
you,
looked at the wrong graph, sorry, it's on the y-axis.
okay,
I thought this is sine.
fine. Okay, this is secant, right?
Yeah, it's cosine.
If you flip the secant, it will become what? What's,
Adjacent over hypotenuse.
no, I mean the ratio, sine, cosine, tangent. Which one is the reciprocal of secant?
Cosine.
Yeah, so if you flip the secant, it will become cosine. And if you flip undefined, it will become what?
0.
0, right? So it's the same as finding the place when cosine becomes 0. So cosine will become 0 in the middle, right? On the y-axis, will be here and here. So what's your answer then at the end, Evan?
Got 2 pi over 2 and 6 pi over 3.
No. It's on the y-axis, right, Evan?
Yeah. Oh,
So the
is it
first one,
pi over 2 and
yeah, pi over 2, that's first one.
3 pi over 2.
Yeah, 3 pi over 2. Okay, so same as question J, right? If it's on the same place, it will be same angle. Okay, and Waylon, how about you? What's question L?
That's the only one I'm having trouble with.
Can you say that one more time?
That's the one I'm having trouble with.
Okay, well, you can tell me when we reciprocal the cosecant equals 0, what would it become?
Cosecant would become sine, right?
Sine theta equals
Undefined.
undefined. Okay, where is sine undefined? Do we have that?
No.
Right, if you look at the picture, right, sine picture is never undefined. Right, sine is either 1 or -1 or 0 and 0. And then cosecant is, right, cosecant is never 0. It's impossible to get 0. So for this question, you could think of it as also a trick question, right? Cosecant can never be 0, sine can never be undefined. So there's no angle that can make that. So this one, you can just say the angle is undefined.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Because there's no place that can make this happen. Okay, so your answer is just to say it's undefined. Undefined means no answer. Okay, so you can see that you can make a start, okay, on question I, question L, okay? Those are the little bit of tricky ones, even though you see the 1, -1, or 0, but it doesn't mean the answer is just looking at a picture, right? You have to think about it. Okay, so now we are going to move on to next page, which requires your calculator, because you can see the next page has all mostly decimals, right? We are still finding angle, right? If you look at question 14, find all possible angle A, right? Find angle A to the nearest 10th of a degree, okay? And this part, the angle A is between 0 to 360. This is called the domain. So since we're finding angle, we still follow the 4 steps that we need to do, okay? But with some modification, okay? So let's start with question A. Let's pick one question that has a negative sign, okay? So let's say we do question C. Okay, we'll do question C as an example. So our step 1, okay, Sophie, what's step 1 now?
Check signs.
Yep, what sign do you see?
Negative sign.
Okay, so it should be in quadrant.
It should be in quadrant 3 and 4.
Yes, very good. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. Okay, quadrant 3 and 4. Okay, step 2. Eric, what is step 2? Eric,
Draw the graph.
draw the graph, but what does it say in our notes? Eric?
With the side ratio.
Side ratios, okay? So what side ratio do you see here? Eric, can you just keep your mic on, okay?
Yeah, okay. Wait, which one's the side ratio? Is it like which quadrants is it? Like what it looks like in the quadrants?
No, side ratio means, okay, for example, if you look at the screen, okay, on question B, the side ratio is the -1/√2. That's called the side ratios. It tells you the length of the sides, right?
Oh wait,
Did
I
you
see.
hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Eric,
Yeah, give me a second. I just need to find it.
what are you finding?
The side ratio.
It's on the screen.
Oh, is it just 0.4874?
Yes, okay. The one on the right side, that's called the side ratio. There's nothing to find. Okay,
Oh,
so this thing is the side ratio. Right? Before, right, like in your homework, the side ratio are all fractions, like 1/√2, √3/2, right?
oh wait, yeah, sorry, I was thinking that was an angle. My bad.
Okay. The angle here is the A. That's the angle. Okay.
Yeah.
And angle always follow behind the sine or cosine or tangent. Okay. So the side ratio you see here, because it's like a weird decimal, right? A random decimal. So this is not special. Okay. But we could still draw the picture, right? So the way we will draw the picture, we'll just fill in the quadrants with the triangle, right? We know it's in quadrant 3. Quadrant 4. Okay, and then that's all you can draw because the ratio that's given here is not special. Okay, side ratio is not special. Okay, special means like √3/2, 1/√2, 1, 0. Okay, those ones. Okay, the ones that has 45, 30, 60 as your reference. Okay, so it's not special. So that's all we can do. Okay, we couldn't fill in the numbers on the picture, right? But at least we can draw it out. So we move on to step 3. Okay, what is step 3 now? Jenny? I know you don't have
Is
mic.
that
No, you have mic now. Work?
I do. Is it reference angle?
Yeah, reference angle. Okay. So step 3 to get the reference angle, because we don't have the side and it's not special. So this is the time you use your calculator. Okay, so everyone take out your calculator. We are finding angles in degree. So make sure you turn your calculator to degree mode. Okay, you should see like a little D on the top of your screen. Okay, like little D, or you can see DEG. Then you know you are in degree mode. Okay, can you raise your hand if you got the degree mode ready? You can speak up if you don't have the degree mode. Okay, I think we went over how to change mode before, right? Eric and Jocelyn, do you have it in degree mode on your calculator? And Jocelyn, any trouble?
I don't know how to change it.
Okay, usually you need to go to mode. Okay, see if you have a button for mode.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, and press that, see if there's anything that has
I
changing.
found the degree, but I don't know how to like make the calculator into like degree.
So on the after you press the mode, do you see that degree? DEG?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can either press, like depending on there should be like a number beside it, right? Like for example, DEG is for 1, and then RAD is for 2,
Oh.
something like that, and 3 is for GRA, something like that, and you press the number, and then you can change the mode. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so have you changed it?
Yeah.
Okay, then you try something, okay, to make sure it works. So can you type in sine of 30 degree and then tell me what you get?
Okay.
What do you have?
I got 0.5.
Okay, good. Then you're in degree mode. Okay, so everyone can try that as well. Okay, if you want to make sure you're in degree mode, then you need to type in sine 30. It should give you 0.5. If you are in the radian mode, you type in sine 30, you won't get 0.5. Okay. Right. So make sure you're in radian degree mode right now, because the angle we want to find is in degree. So to find the reference angle, because the ratio is not special, okay, side ratio is not special, so you need to use this function. This is a sine, right? So you type in sine, but then with the inverse. So above the sine button, there should be a -1, okay? Little -1, sine -1. And then you type in the side ratio, but make sure it's positive ratio. Okay, please write this down first. So this one, the question they give you -0.4874. But when you type into the calculator, you can only use positive. So you ignore the negative sign, okay? Because if you use the negative sign, sometimes the angle that come out, it will be bigger than 90. And it won't be reference angle, okay? To guarantee that it's a reference angle, it has to be less than 90 degree, okay? So you cannot use negative sign. So I would like you guys to try that, okay? The answer that you should get after you find the reference angle, okay, you should have 29.2 degree, okay? So please raise your hand if you are able to find 29.2. Okay, if you couldn't find it, we have to figure out how, okay? Okay, Susan, Marcus, and Justin, do you have trouble getting 29.2?
No.
Then you gotta raise your hand. And Justin, do you know how to use the sine inverse? This is,
Yeah.
okay, did you get not 29.2?
No.
You need to type in sine inverse and then 0.4874. You try it?
Yeah.
What do you get?
I got the same thing,
What's the number?
like 29.2.
So you have 29.2 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so that 29.2 is your reference angle, and reference angle is the angle inside the little triangle, right? The two green dots. Okay, so that's the only difference. After that, it's the same to get the step 4. Okay, last step is to draw the angle within 360, right? So the first angle we want to get is this one, the one in the third quadrant. Okay, so Philip, how do we get the first angle?
You go 209.2 degrees.
200 what?
209.2.
209.2. How do you get that?
because it's 180 and then another 29.2 degrees.
180 and oh, okay, yeah. So it will be 180 degree and then you add it with 29.2. Okay. So 209.2. Very good. Okay, so that's our first answer. Now to get the second answer, I need to go all the way to the fourth quadrant. Okay, how do we find the second one? Caleb? How do we find the second angle?
You add 270 to 29.2.
No, you never use the 270, okay, because 29.2 is not with the y-axis. 270 is y-axis.
Oh, sorry, no, you minus 360 from 29.2.
The other way around.
Oh, you add it?
No. You minus 29.2 from 360.
Yeah.
Okay, not minus it from 29.2. Okay.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
Okay. So angle A, it will be 360 degrees. That's a full circle. And then you take away the reference angle. And what do you get then, Kevin?
330.8.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the two answer that we want to find. Okay. So the only difference between this page and the previous page is step 2 and 3. Okay, let me highlight that. Step 2, step 3, you need to use calculator. Okay, step 2, you can only draw it out, but you cannot put in the sides. Step 3, to get reference angle, you need to use your calculator. But we're going to try another one, okay, before I let you guys do the rest. So let's go to question H, okay? Let's do question H. Okay, can you raise your hand if you're ready to start on question H? Okay, no question on C. Make sure you write down every step, okay? If you're ready to start on H, please raise your hand. Eric? Yeah, okay. So the next question, H. It has quite a few numbers, right? Much more numbers than question C. Question C only has the ratio on one side. So if we're able to make it look like question C, then we can do it, right? So instead of sine A, we have cotangent A. So our goal is try to make it look like question C, keeping the cotangent A by itself. Okay, so we need to move everything to the other side. So isolate cotangent A. Okay, you need to isolate. So that's the extra thing you need to do before we start, right? So the thing that needs to start moving over, what's the first thing we need to move over first, Marcus?
It would be the -4.
I need to keep the cotangent A on the left side.
Oh,
Everything
6,
else-
sorry.
Hmm?
You move the 6.
Yes, okay, 6 needs to go first. So it will become what?
-10.
Yeah, so I will have 2 cotangent A equal -10. What's the next thing we need to move?
The 2.
How do we do that?
Is it like divide 2 on both sides?
Yeah, very good. Okay, so divide by 2 on both sides, you end up with,
Cotangent A equals to -5.
yes, okay. So when you get a question like this, first thing to do, right, is to make it look like question C, right? Keep the cotangent or sine or whatever, right, cosine by itself. So this is where you start. Okay, so now you look at this question, you start carry out the 4 steps. But with the cotangent, it looks a little bit more difficult, right? We can also flip it, okay? Like what we did before. Let me turn to the previous page. Okay, we do the flip, right? Like question D, last page, question D, question E. You got a question of secant, you flip both sides, okay? You have a cotangent, you flip it, right? It'll become tangent. So it looks something more familiar. So for this one, we do the same thing. We're going to flip. Okay, just like we did before. So if I flip both sides, Susan, what would it become now?
Tangent of A is equal to -1/5.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So doing the question for cotangent equal -5, it will be the same as the answer finding answer for tangent A equal to -1/5. Okay, answer will be the same. So starting from there, we can carry out our step 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I'll let you try this out. Okay, the beginning part, the setup is a little bit more work. We went over that together. But after this, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be the same as question C. So please go over step by step by yourself. Okay, raise your hand if you found the 2 angles. Okay, Callum, can you tell us your quadrants for step 1?
Oh, I'm not done, but I just finished the first 3. 1 and 3,
Why?
because tangent is actually no. I'm sorry, no, 2 and 4,
Why?
because they're both negative there.
Yeah. Okay. This question has -1/5, so you should be looking for tangent negative in quadrant 2 and 4. So step 2, to draw it out, side ratios, right? 2 is here, 4 is here. but we couldn't put anything on there, right? It's not special. 1 and 5 is not special. If you like, you can write 1 on the opposite, 5 on the adjacent, but it's still not a special, right? Okay, and then we have step 3 to get the reference angle. Okay, if you found the 2 answers, please raise your hand. Okay, Jocelyn, which step are you on?
Step 3.
Step 3. So finding the reference angle with a calculator now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me know when you found the answer. Okay. Remember, we are using tangent inverse this time. Okay. This question is tangent. After we flip it, it becomes tangent. Okay, so do you know what to put inside the tangent inverse, Jocelyn?
No.
In here, right, it says it has to be positive ratio, right? In the question C,
Yeah.
you write that down?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what's the positive ratio that we should put inside? The ratio we have is -1/5, right?
Yeah.
So if it's positive, it becomes what?
5/1.
1/5. It's still 1/5. We
Uh,
just ignore the negative. Okay, you only use the positive number.
Okay.
Okay, so type it into your calculator. Make sure you have brackets, okay, around your 1/5.
But in the calculator, we can't type a fraction though.
Then you divide it first, okay? You take 1 divided by 5 first. What do you get when you have 1 divided by 5?
0.2.
Yeah, so you use 0.2, okay? And then put it into your tangent inverse.
Uh, 11.31.
Okay, so if you round it to the 10th, it will be 11.3 degree, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so that's our first reference angle here, okay? But we still need to use it to do step 4. Step 4 is to draw the angle. The angle, first one is in the second quadrant. Okay, so Evan, what's the first answer?
I wasn't quite sure how to do this. Is it you do 180 plus 11.3?
Okay, so you need to think about where the angle is. If the angle is in the first quadrant, okay, then your reference angle is your answer. I think we drew that somewhere before. Let me show you. Did we put it somewhere? Okay, we'll write it here. Okay, we'll write it here again. Couldn't find it. Okay, if the angle is in the first quadrant, let's go to page 44. Okay, to put the notes there on the top. Okay, if the angle is the first quadrant, then your reference angle is the answer. Okay, so the angle is the reference angle. If it's in the second quadrant, okay, if your reference angle is in the second quadrant, then your angle, you need to use 180 degree to minus the reference. Okay, because it's missing the reference angle, right? It's almost 180, but not yet, right? It's taking away the reference angle. So you get it from looking at the picture. You don't memorize this, okay? You have to understand why we do plus, why we do minus. And then if it's in the third quadrant, you turn to 180, but we are not there yet, right? You need to turn a bit more. So then the angle, you need to do what, Evan?
Add.
Yeah, you will need to do adding. Okay, so it's not from memorization. You look at the picture to see what you need to do. And then last place, if the quadrant stops in, angle stops in quadrant 4, then when you try to get there, you need to turn to this place. So it's almost a full circle, but missing the reference angle. So what do you need to do then?
Subtract.
From
360.
360, right? 360 is a full circle, but it's missing. Missing means you subtract, right? Missing the reference. Okay, so you just look at the picture, then you can tell what to do. So back to this one. For the first angle that we want to get, what do we do?
You do 180 subtracted by 11.3.
Yeah, okay, and what do you get?
168.7 degrees.
Yeah, and then this, okay, let me write it down. 180 minus 11.3, 168 point what?
7.
7, okay. Okay, and second one?
360 minus 11.3.
Yeah.
And you get 348.7.
Okay, very good. Okay. All right, so those are our two answers. Okay, does anyone have questions? How to get the two answers there? So whether you get a cotangent, right, cosecant, secant, the reciprocal ones, no trouble, right? You just need to flip it so it can become sine, cosine, tangent. Okay, and then if the ratio is not isolated, you need to isolate it by yourself first. So I picked these two questions, okay, are the harder ones. So you can use those as like a template, right, to do other questions. So I'm gonna pick 4 questions for you to do before we take a break, all right? So let's see. Okay, so we'll pick question D, E, F, G. Okay, so those ones, D, E, F, G. And then we'll check answers, okay, before the break. So you can raise your hand after you finish these 4. Each of the question you should have 2 answers. And also on the last page, okay, if you didn't get the time to copy it down, as here is the notes, okay, for finding angles in different quadrants. Okay, we are going to go over 2 questions first, okay? Most of you are done now. Okay, we'll start with question D. We'll go over step by step. Okay, Nick, step 1.
So it's like the quadrants. So in this case, it's quadrant 2 and 4.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So I'll draw it out. Quadrant 2. 2 will be here. 4 is here. Okay, and that's all we do. We move on to step 3. So step 3, can I have Angela?
I got negative 79.23.
Oh, you shouldn't have any negative. Did you put in negative number in the calculator?
No.
Can you try again? So tangent inverse, you should put positive 5.2588.
I got positive 79.233.
Yeah, so it should be positive 79.2, right? Not negative. Yeah, I don't know how you got the negative before. Do you remember? Did you type in something different?
No, I just added it after.
Oh, you add a negative after. Yeah, so your reference angle should always be positive angle between 0 to 90, okay? Okay, and then step 4. Okay, Susan, how do you get step 4? What's your answer for step 4?
I did 180 degrees minus 79.2, which is 100.8 degrees, and 362 degrees minus 79.2 degrees, which is 280.8 degrees.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's the 2 answers, all right? Move on to question E. Okay, Jocelyn, can you tell us the quadrant for question E? Jocelyn?
It should be in quadrant 1 and 3.
Yeah, very good. Okay, it will be the same place as tangent. Okay, this one is positive. Cotangent is positive. Okay, so before you begin, right, we need to flip it. So cotangent flipping will be tangent A. You flip the other one, it will be 1 over 1.4874. Okay, you need to reciprocal both sides, flip both sides. Okay, step 2, you need to draw it out. Like quadrant 1, quadrant 3. Okay, Callum, step 3.
You put in step 3, you put inverse of tangent over 1 over 0.4874.
1.4874, yeah. What do you get?
Oh, I got 56.0.
Shouldn't be that. Should be something 30 something. You try again. Are you able to get a different answer?
No, all I'm getting when I give me a second.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got 34.801.
34.801. Like that?
Yeah.
Still off. It's better, but it's still off.
That's all I can. That's all
Okay.
I got.
And okay, I want you to try this then. Okay. Can you type in 1 divided by 1.4874 and tell me what you have?
Oh, actually, no, I got 33.91.
Yeah, okay, that's better. Okay. So 33.91. Okay, we rounded to 33.9. Can you continue and tell me the two answers then?
The first one is just 33.9.
And the second one?
180 plus 33.9.
Okay, what's that?
Which is 213.9.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, next question, right? Question F. We still have people working on F and G. If you finish all the questions here, right? Question D, F, G, please raise your hand. For question E, F, G, you need to do the flipping, right? Because you have cotangent, secant, you have cosecant, okay? You need to do the flipping before you begin. Okay, let's go over question F. Jenny, step 1 for F.
Find out which quadrant it is, so check the sign. Well,
Okay.
we can flip it first, sorry.
Yeah.
So it would be cosine A equals 7/13, right?
Yeah, very good. Yeah. So quadrant. Jenny, step 1, quadrant. Quadrant, what's your step 1?
It should be quadrants 1 and 4, right?
Yep, 1 and 4. Okay. Draw that out. 1 and 4. Okay, we go to step 3. Marcus?
Yeah. Oh, it'd be cosine A, inverse cosine, to 7/13.
Yeah, and that should give you.
Oh, I haven't typed it in yet. Cosine 57.4.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and can you continue and get the two answers from there?
A equals to 57.4. And wait, how do you get the other one?
Well, you look at the second one is in which quadrant?
4.
The fourth quadrant, so turns all the way there. How do we get that angle?
Add 270.
No, don't use 270.
360.
Yeah, you look at the previous page on the top, right? If it's in the fourth quadrant, then you need to use 360 to take away the reference.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Almost a full circle. Just
302.6.
yeah, 302.6. Okay. And last question. Last question we need to isolate before we flip. Okay, and we should get like cosecant A equals to what? Cosecant A, Wayland, after you isolate, what do you have?
I got cosecant A equals negative 2.4.
Oh, you turn it into decimals?
Yeah.
Okay, negative 2.4. Okay, and if you flip it,
It should become into sine A equals negative 1 over 2.4.
yep. Okay, so can you tell us your step one then?
Step 1 to find out the quadrant. I got quadrant 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4. Okay, when sign is negative. Okay, so we'll draw the picture, quadrant 3 and 4. 3 is here, 4 is there. Okay, and Lily, what's the reference?
The reference is 24.6.
Yeah, how did you get that?
Reverse sine,
Mhm.
bracket 5/4.
5
5
over,
over 12.
yeah, 5 over 12, or you can, in this case, we use positive 1 over 2.4. Okay, and that is called a sine inverse, not sine reverse, or yeah, so it's called inverse. And can you continue? Get the two answers then, Lily?
180 plus 24.6 equals to 204.6.
Good. The other one?
360 minus 24.6 equals to 335.4.
Yes, okay, excellent, right? So these are the questions that you'll be getting, okay, the kind of question you'll be doing for homework, okay? So you still carry out the 4 steps, except you need to do the calculator. So let's add that into our summary, okay? Summary box on the previous page. So go back to here, page 44, okay? So on the side, need you to draw a line, okay? So you have some space. And then make a little star there. Okay, let me erase this, okay? We need some space. Okay, so if ratio, okay, make sure you copy this down. If ratio is not special, okay, meaning you get something like 13 over 7, right? Or decimals, okay? Not special. Then reference angle, right? Theta R means reference angle equals to inverse. So either it's sine inverse, cosine inverse, or tangent inverse, right? Inverse of positive ratio. Okay, so you will do this step to replace your step 3. Okay, basically that your step 2 and 3 will be different. Right, because when you try to do side ratio, your step 2, and then you look at your side ratio, it's not special, right? When step 2, your side ratio is not special, then you can only draw the picture and then you move on to the calculator. Okay, so make sure you copy this down. All right, so we'll have a break first, 10 minutes. So you guys can come back at 11:20. Okay. And if you have any questions, you can ask me during the break.
Jason.
Yeah, Marcus.
I have a question about the homework.
Okay, let me stop the recording first.